My mother is an ocean. Of everything I want to be and every impossible expectation, it is vast and terrifying, and her laughter sounds like the waves. Her anger like a hurricane. Mother, I ask her on a trip where I am alone on the beach, the sun burning my skin, how do you fit all that inside you? How do you create as easily as you destroy? How are you not terrified at the thought of your own waves pulling you under? If my mother is an ocean, her mother is a tree. Built to be steady and helpful and strong, built as a foundation. My grandma's speech whistles between the branches these days, crisp and otherworldly. On autumn days, she shows me all the scars on her bark. In winter, she shows me the carved initials of her family. In the summer, she looks longingly to the paths next to her. Doesn't realize she's dying, claims to be strong. Her words turn to the wind. Her branches ache to hold on to that dismantled nest. I ask her, how can you stand it? Leaning and sagging on top of the world, just to be stuck watching it thrive without you. How can you stand watching the wanderers pass by next to your trunk? How can you stand? Hold the scars of your family with pride. How can you stand? And she whispers, I stand because I get to see you on the paths I never got to see. My grandma is a tree who birthed the ocean, and the ocean is my mom. The ocean is my mom, and I can't help but continue to walk along her shore. She sings me songs she's learned from wells, slightly off tune and pitchy. She says she learned them from friends. She brings me the prettiest shells from her death, not realizing the path she takes them on leaves them all chipped. She stays up late when it's just me and her and the moon, looks up and tells me stories of the sailors she's met. How the wanderers who call her laughter home, I ask her how many ended up lost. And she brings up how often I'd run away, and I tell her I'm afraid of drowning, that her riptide is too strong most days, and she asks me desperately who I'm gonna be. My mother is the ocean, hers a tree, and I sheepishly tell my mom most days I feel like a road. Like a path uncharted, that I'll always end up a wanderer, that I want to go nowhere and everywhere, that I only feel steady with the movement, that I want to see what my history couldn't, that my mouth is stuck being dry and dusty. My body always covered in dirt, that I can't stop smiling at the sun and the desert heat and the blindness of rain. I tell her she's gotta hear the music created by the windshield wipers and that addicting sound of speed. I tell her of the compassion on the side, how families always end up together, and I tell her I'm as home as I'll ever be. My mom is an ocean full of everything I could never be. Her mom a tree leaning and sagging, stuck on top of the world. I am every road I've never traveled. And my mom says I'm dangerous and eternal, and I tell her, I guess it runs in the family.